I never thought kindness could be dangerous. That morning in Chicago, the September air smelled like rain and exhaust fumes, that specific scent of a city waking up too fast. I was walking to my shift at Rosie's Cafe, headphones in, playing the same playlist I'd played for 3 years, songs loud enough to drown out thought. I'd perfected the art of disappearing into crowds, eyes down, shoulders curved inward, oversized cardigan hiding my shape. This was survival. This was safety. Then I saw her, a little girl, maybe 5 years old, standing at the corner of Michigan Avenue. She was crying so hard her whole body shook, clutching a stuffed rabbit with one ear missing like it was the only thing tethering her to earth. People flowed around her like water around a stone. A businessman checked his watch. A woman in yoga pants adjusted her AirPods. No one stopped. I should have kept walking. That's what 3 years of therapy and one very expensive restraining order had taught me. Mind your business, keep your head down, don't get involved, don't be seen. But I couldn't. Something in her terrified little face cracked through all my carefully built walls. I knelt down, pulled out my headphones. "Hey, sweetheart, are you lost?" She nodded, hiccuping. Tears made tracks through the dirt on her cheeks. "I can't find my daddy." I looked around. No frantic parent, no security guard, no one even glancing our way, just the indifferent rush of a city that had learned not to care. "Okay. Let's get you somewhere safe, all right? We'll find him together." Her hand was so small in mine, sticky from candy or maybe just fear. I guided her across the street, away from the traffic, toward the relative safety of the sidewalk. That's when I felt it. That prickling sensation on the back of my neck. The one that had saved me before. The one that meant someone was watching. I turned. He stood beside a black Mercedes parked illegally at the curb, 20 feet away. Tall, maybe 6'3", wearing a suit that probably cost more than 3 months of my rent. Dark hair, sharp jaw, and eyes that pinned me in place like a butterfly under glass. He wasn't moving, wasn't calling out, just watching us with an intensity that made my throat tight and my instincts scream run. But I couldn't run. The little girl was already pulling free, her whole face lighting up. "Daddy!" He caught her, swept her up in one fluid motion, and for a split second his face transformed. Pure relief washing over features that looked carved from granite. Pure love, the kind I'd stopped believing existed. Then his gaze found mine again over her shoulder, and I felt stripped bare. Seen. Known in a way that terrified me. He mouthed 2 words. "Thank you." I didn't wait for more. I turned and walked away fast, heart hammering against my ribs, hands shaking as I shoved them into my pockets. I didn't look back. 2 hours later, he walked into Rosie's Cafe. The lunch rush was dying down to its usual afternoon lull. I was wiping down tables, exhausted, my feet aching in the cheap sneakers I'd worn through. The bell above the door chimed. I glanced up out of habit, froze. He moved through the space like he owned it, like gravity bent differently around him. And maybe it did. Everyone else suddenly found reasons to look away, to study their phones, to remember they needed to be somewhere else. My manager, Carlos, actually stepped back behind the counter. I saw his hand move toward the phone. The man sat at my table. Not near it. At it. In my section. Deliberate. I forced myself to approach, pulled my order pad from my apron. "Can I get you something?" His voice was low, controlled, expensive. "Coffee. Black." He paused, and those amber eyes held mine. "And 5 minutes of your time. I'm working. I'll wait." It wasn't a request. I brought him the coffee. My hands didn't shake, and I was proud of that. He studied me like I was a puzzle he was solving, like he could see through the oversized cardigan to all the scars underneath. Up close, I could see details I'd missed. The scar on his right hand, thin and pale and deliberate. Old violence. The way his suit jacket fit, custom made, probably hiding more than fashion. The complete stillness of someone who'd learned patience in dangerous places. "You saved my daughter's life today," he said. "Sophia. She could have run into traffic. You stopped that from happening. Anyone would have done the same." No. His eyes were dark amber, unblinking. They didn't. "You did. That means something." I didn't know what to say. didn't know why my pulse was racing. He slid a business card across the table. One phone number, no name, nothing else. In case you ever need anything, I don't need anything from you. Something flickered in his expression. Almost respect. Almost amusement. Everyone needs something, Miss Emma. I don't know why I told him. Some instinct for honesty that therapy hadn't managed to kill. Emma Harper. Dominic Castellano. He stood, left a $100 bill for a $4 coffee, and buttoned his jacket. Thank you for what you did today. Most people wouldn't have stopped. Most people should. He smiled then, and it transformed his face again, made him look almost gentle. Yes, they should. Then he walked out, and I could breathe again. Carlos appeared at my elbow, pale. Do you know who that was? Should I? Emma. He lowered his voice, glanced at the door like Dominic might come back. That's Dominic Castellano, North Side. You don't want that kind of attention, trust me. But it was too late for warnings. As I cleared the table, I found an envelope tucked under the saucer. Inside, a photo of me helping Sophia across the street, taken from a distance, professional quality, time-stamped from this morning, and beneath it, another photo. Older, grainier, the edges worn like someone had carried it. Me in a hospital bed, 5 years ago. My face swollen with bruises I'd told everyone came from a car accident. The lie I'd perfected. On the back, in precise handwriting, I protect what's mine now. My hands started shaking then. Because whoever Dominic Castellano was, he'd already looked into my past. He'd dug up the things I'd buried, the secrets I'd paid to keep hidden. He'd seen through every lie, every carefully constructed wall. And something told me that when a man like him decided you were his to protect, you didn't get a choice in the matter. The question wasn't whether I wanted his protection. The question was what it would cost me. What it would cost him. What happens when someone decides to care about you in a world where caring is the most dangerous thing you can do? I stood there in that half-empty cafe, holding evidence of surveillance I hadn't detected, and felt the ground shift beneath my feet, like the moment before a building collapses, when you know it's coming but you're powerless to stop it. Because I'd learned something 5 years ago, something written in bruises and broken ribs and midnight runs to emergency rooms. Protection always has a price, and the men who offer it always collect. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on my apartment floor with my back against the door, watching the deadbolt like it might unlock itself. The photos were spread across my coffee table. Me and Sophia. Me in the hospital. I kept trying to figure out when the first one was taken, what angle, what distance. Someone had been following me this morning. Or following him. Either way, I'd been watched and hadn't known it. At 3 a.m., I finally crawled into bed. At 3:15, my phone lit up with a text from a number I didn't recognize. Sleep well, Emma. I threw the phone across the room. The next morning, there was a black car idling outside my building. A man in a dark suit leaned against it, scrolling through his phone. When I came out, he straightened. Miss Harper, I'm Marco. Mr. Castellano asked me to drive you to work. I take the bus. Not anymore. I walked past him toward the bus stop. He followed, patient as a shadow. Miss Harper, please. It's safer this way. I didn't ask to be safe. No. His voice was steady, not unkind. But you helped his daughter. That makes you family now. And family gets protected. The word family sat wrong in my mouth. I'd spent 5 years making sure I didn't have family, didn't have ties, didn't have anyone who could be used against me or who could use me. I got on the bus anyway. Watched through the window as Marco got back in the car and followed us, block by block, all the way to Rosie's. At work, Carlos pulled me aside. Emma, you need to be smart about this. About what? Men like Castellano, they don't do favors. They make investments. He glanced toward the window where Marco's car sat parked, obvious and territorial. Whatever this is, you need to shut it down before it shuts you down. But I didn't know how to shut down something I hadn't started. My shift dragged. Every time the door opened, I tensed. But Dominic didn't come. Only his surveillance did. Marco outside, visible and deliberate. A message to anyone watching, she's spoken for. When I got home that evening, I knew immediately something was wrong. The air felt different. I stood in the doorway, keys in hand, every instinct screaming. Nothing looked disturbed, nothing was missing. But my window, the one that hadn't closed properly for 6 months, the one I'd given up trying to fix, was shut tight, locked from the inside. I walked through slowly. The broken lock on my bathroom cabinet had been replaced. The light bulb I'd been meaning to change was new. My fire escape, which had a loose railing, was secure. On my kitchen counter, a note on expensive cardstock. "You don't get to refuse protection." I crumpled it, threw it in the trash, then immediately pulled it back out. Read it again. The handwriting was the same as on the photo. Precise, controlled. The hand of someone who didn't do anything without intention. Someone had been inside my apartment, had touched my things, fixed what was broken, invaded the only space I'd thought was mine. I wanted to scream, wanted to call that number on the business card and tell Dominic Castellano exactly where he could put his protection. But I didn't, because part of me, the part that still woke up at night reaching for a weapon that wasn't there, felt safer knowing someone was watching, and I hated that part of myself. That night, I did something stupid. I opened my laptop and searched his name. The results were careful, scrubbed clean. Dominic Castellano, philanthropist, real estate developer, single father. Photos of him at charity galas, cutting ribbons, shaking hands with aldermen. Everything legitimate. Everything perfect. Too perfect. I dug deeper, found the gaps. 3 years ago, he'd been questioned in connection with a warehouse fire. No charges. 2 years ago, his business partner had disappeared. No body. Last year, the district attorney who'd been investigating organized crime in the North Side had suddenly retired. I was staring at the face of a man who made problems disappear. My phone buzzed. A text from the same unknown number. "Stop looking." I slammed the laptop shut, heart racing. How did he know? Was he tracking my internet? My phone? I grabbed my keys, walked to the door, yanked it open. Marco was standing in the hallway, hand raised like he'd been about to knock. "Miss Harper, just checking." "Get out!" My voice shook. "Tell your boss I don't need his protection, his fixes, or his surveillance. I didn't ask for any of this." Marco's expression didn't change. "I understand. But Mr. Castellano doesn't take chances with people under his protection." "I'm not under his protection. I helped a kid cross the street. That's it. With respect, Miss Harper, you stopped being just someone the moment you touched his daughter." He pulled an envelope from his jacket. "He asked me to give you this. I didn't take it." Marco set it on the floor, nodded once, and walked away. I waited until his footsteps faded before I picked it up. Inside, a single piece of paper, printed text, an email thread from 2 days ago, before I'd even met Sophia, before any of this started. "Castellano's weak point is the girl. Use her to draw him out. What about the woman?" "What woman?" "The one he's been watching. Harper. Works at the cafe on Milwaukee." My blood went cold. I read it again. He'd been watching. Before I'd helped Sophia. Before we'd met. I was already on someone's radar. Already part of some game I didn't understand. At the bottom, handwritten, "This isn't about gratitude, Emma. You were already a target. I'm just making sure you survive it." I sank down against the wall, the paper shaking in my hands. Because the worst part wasn't the surveillance or the invasion or even the danger. The worst part was realizing I'd been naive enough to think I could stay invisible. That I could build a small, safe life and nothing would ever touch me again. Tyler had taught me that safety was an illusion. Now Dominic Castellano was teaching me that invisibility was too. My phone buzzed one more time. "Tomorrow, someone's going to approach you. Don't go with them. Don't trust them. Call me instead." I stared at the message. Started typing a response 3 times, deleted it 3 times, finally wrote, "Who?" The reply came instantly. "Someone who wants to use you to send me a message. You were chosen, Emma. Not by me, by them." The next day, I went to work anyway. I knew it was stupid. Dominic's warning sat in my phone like a loaded gun, but I couldn't just hide. Hiding meant admitting I was already trapped, already owned by whatever game was being played around me. So I got dressed, walked past Marco's car. He didn't try to stop me, just followed at a distance, and took the bus to Rosie's like it was any other Thursday. Carlos took one look at my face and said, "Go home, Emma." "I'm fine. You look like you haven't slept in days." "Then I'll fit right in with everyone else in this city." I tied on my apron, poured coffee, took orders, Pretended normalcy was still possible. Marco sat at a corner table, not even pretending to look at the menu, just watching, a guard dog in an expensive suit. At 2 p.m., she walked in, blonde, beautiful, wearing a dress that cost more than my car used to be worth before I sold it. She sat in my section, smiled like we were old friends. "Hi, are you Emma?" Every nerve in my body went taut. Depends on who's asking. "I'm Jennifer. I'm a friend of Dominic's." She said his name like they were intimate, like she had access to parts of him I couldn't imagine. "He told me you might need someone to talk to, someone who understands his world." I glanced at Marco. He was already on his phone, tense. "I don't need anything," I said. "Of course not." Jennifer's smile never wavered. "But maybe we could just talk, woman to woman. There's a lot about Dominic that might help you understand why he's so protective." She was good. Her voice was warm, concerned. If I hadn't been warned, I might have believed her. Might have been desperate enough for answers that I'd have gone with her, let her lead me somewhere private where we could talk. "I'm working," I said. "Just a quick coffee. My car's right outside." There it was. The push. The urgency underneath the friendly veneer. Marco was already standing, moving toward us. Jennifer saw him and her expression flickered. Just for a second. The mask slipped, and I saw something cold underneath. "Emma, don't..." Marco started, but I was already pulling out my phone. Already dialing the number on that business card I'd memorized but told myself I'd never use. He answered on the first ring. "Emma, there's a woman here, Jennifer, says she's your friend." Silence. Then, low and lethal, "Get away from her, now." Jennifer's smile had vanished entirely. She stood, and I saw Marco's hand move inside his jacket. She saw it too. "Tell Dominic I tried to be nice about this." She walked out. Through the window, I watched her get into a silver BMW. Watched it peel away from the curb. "Emma," Dominic's voice pulled me back. "Are you hurt?" "No. I didn't go with her." "Good." He exhaled, and I heard something in it. Relief, maybe, or fury, carefully contained. "Marco's going to take you somewhere safe. Don't argue, please." The please was what did it. This man who commanded and controlled, who fixed my apartment without asking, who put guards outside my door, he was asking. "Okay," I whispered. Marco had me out the back entrance within 2 minutes. The car was running. Another man I didn't recognize in the driver's seat. We pulled into traffic fast, and I watched the city blur past, my heart hammering. "Where are we going?" "Somewhere they can't find you," Marco said. Then, quieter. "You did the right thing, calling him." We drove for 20 minutes, into a neighborhood I didn't know. Expensive. Quiet. Trees-lined streets where children probably played without fear. We pulled into an underground garage beneath a building that looked like it cost more per month than I made in a year. The elevator required a key card. We rode up in silence. When the doors opened, we stepped directly into a penthouse apartment. Dominic was waiting. He looked different than he had in the cafe. Tie loosened, sleeves rolled up, hair slightly disheveled like he'd been running his hands through it. When he saw me, something in his face eased. "Thank you for trusting me," he said. "I didn't have much choice." "You always have a choice, Emma. Always." He nodded to Marco, who disappeared down a hallway. Then we were alone. "Sit, please. You look like you're about to collapse." I sat on a couch that probably cost more than my entire apartment's furniture combined. Who was she? Her real name is Katerina Volkov. She works for the Rossi family. They wanted to take you. Use you as leverage against me. He poured 2 glasses of water from a crystal pitcher, handed me one. "If you'd gone with her, I'd have found you. But not before they hurt you. Why me? I don't mean anything to you." His eyes met mine. "Don't you?" The question hung between us, weighted with implications I wasn't ready to examine. "I helped your daughter cross a street, that's all. You showed her kindness when no one else did. You saw her when everyone else looked away." He sat across from me, elbows on his knees. "Do you know how rare that is? Real kindness, no agenda, no expectation of reward. Most people are kind. No, Emma, most people are performative. They do good when it benefits them, when someone's watching, when there's something to gain. You stopped because it was the right thing to do. That matters to me." I wanted to argue. But I was so tired. How long do I have to stay here? Until it's safe. And when will that be? He was quiet for a long moment. I don't know. At least he was honest. He showed me to a guest room that was bigger than my entire apartment. There are clothes in the closet. Basics. If you need anything else, just ask. Marco's outside, but you're not a prisoner. You can leave whenever you want. I just hope you won't. What if I want to leave right now? Then I'll have Marco drive you home, and I'll put 2 men outside your building instead of 1, and pray that's enough. His jaw tightened. But I'd rather you stayed. Here, I can keep you safe. After he left, I sat on the edge of the bed and finally let myself shake. Let myself feel the terror I'd been holding back all day. Jennifer's cold eyes. Marco's hand on his gun. The casual way Dominic had said, they would have hurt you. Like it was inevitable. Like violence was just another transaction in his world. I pulled out my phone, thought about calling someone, anyone. But who? I'd spent 5 years cutting ties, staying isolated, making sure no one could be used against me the way I'd been used before. Now I was alone in a stranger's penthouse, protected by a man I barely knew, hunted by people whose names I didn't even recognize. A knock on the door. Marco's voice. Miss Harper? Mr. Castellano asked me to give you this. I opened the door. He handed me a phone, new, expensive. It's secure. His number's already programmed. So is mine. Emergency services. That's it. After he left, I turned it over in my hands. A leash disguised as safety, but also a lifeline. The phone buzzed. A message from Dominic. Check the nightstand. I opened the drawer. Inside, a photograph. Not of me. Of Sophia, smiling, holding her rabbit, and underneath, a handwritten note. This is what I'm protecting. You reminded me why that matters. Sleep well, Emma. You're safe here. I lay back on sheets that smelled like lavender and expensive detergent, held that photo, and realized something terrifying. I believed him. This dangerous man, this stranger who'd invaded my life and turned it upside down, I believed he'd keep me safe. The question was whether I'd survive what came after. I woke to sunlight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows and forgot, for exactly 3 seconds, where I was. Then it all came rushing back. Jennifer's cold smile. The car ride. Dominic's penthouse. I was wearing borrowed clothes in a stranger's home because people I'd never met wanted to hurt me to hurt him. I found him in the kitchen at dawn, making coffee in a t-shirt and dark pants, looking more human than I'd ever seen him. Sophia sat at the counter in pajamas covered in stars, swinging her legs and coloring. She looked up when I entered. You're the lady from the street. Hi, sweetheart. I managed to smile. Daddy says you're staying with us for a while. Are you staying in the princess room? That's what I call it because it has the big windows. Sophia, eat your breakfast, Dominic said gently, then to me. Coffee? Please. He poured, handed me a mug. Our fingers brushed. I pulled away too fast. He noticed. Everything about this man noticed. After Sophia left for school with a nanny whose background had probably been checked 6 ways from Sunday, Dominic led me to his study. Leather and dark wood and the smell of old books. He closed the door. We need to talk about the reality of your situation. I'm listening. He leaned against his desk, arms crossed. All business now. The Rossi family has decided you're useful leverage. That means they'll keep trying. More sophisticated attempts. They might go after your workplace, your friends if you have them, anyone connected to you. I don't have friends. The words came out harder than I meant them to. Something flickered in his eyes. Understanding, maybe. Good. That makes this easier. He pulled out a tablet, showed me surveillance photos. Men I didn't recognize, outside Rosie's, outside my old apartment. These were taken over the last 48 hours. They're watching your patterns, learning your routine. If you go back to your normal life, they'll grab you within a week. My hands tightened on the mug. So what do? You stay here, under my protection, until I can neutralize the threat. For how long? However long it takes. I stood, paced to the window. The city stretched out below, indifferent and vast. I can't just disappear. I have a job, bills, a lease, all taken care of. Your rent's paid through the year. Your manager knows you're dealing with a family emergency. Your bills are on auto pay. I spun to face him. You can't just take over my life. I'm trying to save it. His voice stayed level, but I heard the steel underneath. Emma, these people are not playing games. If they take you, they will hurt you in ways that will make whatever happened 5 years ago look like a schoolyard fight. And they'll film it, send it to me. Use your pain as a weapon. The clinical way he said it made it worse. Like he'd seen this before, like he knew exactly what they'd do. Why? My voice cracked. Why do you even care? You don't know me. He was quiet for a long moment, studying me with those amber eyes that saw too much. You want honesty? Always. Because you're the first person in 5 years who looked at my daughter and saw a child who needed help, not an opportunity. Because you have the kind of courage it takes to stop in a busy street when everyone else keeps walking. And because... He stopped, jaw tight. Because what? Because I know what it looks like when someone's been broken and put themselves back together wrong. I see it every time I look in the mirror. He moved closer, not touching, just near enough that I could feel the heat of him. You survived something. I don't need to know what yet, but I recognize the weight of it. And I'm not going to let someone add to that burden if I can stop it. I wanted to argue, wanted to throw his protection back in his face and walk out of here with my pride intact. But pride doesn't stop bullets. Pride doesn't protect you from men who see you as a message to be delivered in blood and bruises. If I stay, I said slowly, I need rules. Agreed. I'm not a prisoner. I need freedom to move, to breathe, to exist as a person, not a possession. Done. I need honesty. No more fixing things without asking. No more decisions about my life made without me. Fair. He pulled out his phone, typed something. My 3 rules. First, you don't lie to me. Not about where you're going, not about who you're talking to, not about anything. Lies get people killed in my world. I nodded. Second, you don't leave this building without Marco or me knowing. That's not control, that's survival. If something happens and I don't know where you are, I can't help you. And third, his expression hardened. Never, under any circumstances, put Sophia in danger. She's had enough taken from her. If protecting you means risking her, this ends. The words should have stung. Instead, I felt a strange respect. I'd never hurt a child. I know. That's why you're here. He held out his hand. Deal. I looked at his scarred hand. Thought about all the ways this could go wrong, all the reasons I should run. But where would I run to? Back to my tiny apartment with its broken locks. Back to a life where I was already being watched, already targeted, already in danger without even knowing it. At least here, the danger had a name, a face, rules I could understand. I shook his hand. Deal. His grip was warm, solid. He held on a moment longer than necessary. Well, thank you for trusting me. I don't trust you, I said honestly. But I trust you more than I trust them. That's a start. That night, I couldn't sleep. I wandered the penthouse in borrowed pajamas, feeling like a ghost in someone else's life. I found Dominic on the balcony at 2 a.m., smoking a cigarette. I didn't know you smoked, I said. I don't, except when I'm stressed. He stubbed it out. Can't sleep. Too quiet. I'm used to sirens and arguments through thin walls. He smiled slightly. City girl. Born and raised. I leaned against the railing beside him. Can I ask you something? Anything. Why does Sophia only have one parent? His whole body went still. I thought I'd crossed a line, pushed too far. Then, her mother left when she was 6 months old, decided she didn't want the life I could offer, or the danger that came with it. I'm sorry. Don't be. She made the right choice. This world isn't for everyone. He looked at me. It's not for most people. Is that a warning? It's a fact. He turned to face me fully. Emma, I need you to understand something. The protection I'm offering comes with a cost. Not money, but proximity to me changes you. It marks you. Even after the Rossies are handled, even after you leave here, people will remember you were under my protection. That follows you. Like a scar. Exactly like a scar. I thought about the scars I already carried. The visible ones and the ones buried so deep I'd almost convinced myself they'd healed. I've survived scars before. I know you have. His voice went soft. But you shouldn't have had to. Something in my chest cracked open. This dangerous man, this stranger who'd invaded my life, saw me. Really saw me. Not the carefully constructed normal I showed the world, but the broken thing underneath. I did something then that surprised us both. I reached out and touched the scar on his hand. How'd you get this? A long time ago. Someone I trusted with a knife. He didn't pull away. Taught me to be more careful about trust. And yet here you are, trusting me in your home with your daughter. That's different. How? He caught my hand, held it gently. Because you've been hurt too. People who've been broken recognize each other. We know the value of safety because we know what it costs to lose it. We stood there, hands touching. The city lights spread out below us like scattered diamonds. I should have pulled away. Should have remembered all the reasons this was dangerous, all the ways proximity to power corrupts. But I didn't. For the first time in 5 years, I let someone hold my hand without flinching. The moment shattered when his phone buzzed. He checked it, and his whole demeanor shifted. Go inside. Now. What? Emma. Inside. Lock the door. I ran. Behind me, I heard him making calls, his voice sharp with command. I reached my room, locked the door with shaking hands, waited. 10 minutes later, a knock. It's me. I opened it. Dominic stood there with a manila folder. His face was carved from ice. They found your old apartment. Left this in your mailbox. He handed me the folder. Inside, photos. Me leaving the hospital 5 years ago. Me at the courthouse filing a restraining order. Me with bruises, with fear in my eyes, small and broken. And a note, printed in block letters. We know who hurt you. We know where he is. Do what we want, or we give him your new address. My legs gave out. Dominic caught me, held me up. Emma, look at me. I couldn't. I was back there, back in that apartment with Tyler's hands around my throat, back to being helpless and terrified and small. Emma! Dominic's voice cut through. Who is he? I looked up into eyes that promised violence. His name is Tyler Brennan, and if he finds me, he'll finish what he started. I told Dominic everything. We sat in his study as dawn broke over Chicago, and I spoke the words I'd sworn I'd never say out loud again. He didn't interrupt, didn't offer platitudes, just listened with that complete focus he had, like nothing else in the world existed except my story. I met Tyler at a hospital fundraiser. I was waitressing. He was a pharmaceutical rep, charming and successful. He made me feel seen. I laughed bitterly. Isn't that what they all do? Make you feel special until you're trapped. How long? Dominic asked quietly. 2 years. The first 6 months were perfect. Then came the small criticisms. My clothes, my friends, the way I laughed too loud. By the time he hit me the first time, I was already so isolated I didn't know who to call. My hands were shaking. Dominic pushed a glass of water toward me. He apologized, cried, swore it would never happen again. But it did. It always does. I took a sip, forced myself to continue. It got worse. He controlled everything. My money, my phone, where I went. The final night, he came home drunk and accused me of cheating. I wasn't. I never did. But it didn't matter. He put me in the hospital with 3 broken ribs, a fractured jaw, and internal bleeding. Dominic's knuckles went white against his desk. How did you get out? A nurse saw the pattern, called a domestic violence advocate. They helped me file a restraining order, get a new apartment, change my name legally. I met his eyes. Emma Harper didn't exist 4 years ago. I was someone else. Someone weaker? You were never weak, Dominic said fiercely. Survival takes more strength than people understand. Tyler violated the restraining order twice. Both times, he got warnings. The system failed, so I disappeared. New city, new job, new life. I thought I was safe. You were, until me. The guilt in his voice was palpable. The Rossies did their research. Found your old identity, your history. They're going to use it. I stood, paced. So what do they want? For me to leave? Testify against you? What's the play here? They want you to be so terrified of your past that you'll do anything to keep it buried, including betraying me. He pulled up something on his tablet. Tyler Brennan. Currently living in Milwaukee. Works as a sales manager. No arrests since you left, but 3 complaints filed by ex-girlfriends. All dropped. The room tilted. He's still doing it. Still hurting women. Men like him don't change. They just find new victims. Dominic's voice was cold, clinical. The Rossies will offer you a deal. Help them, and they'll make sure Tyler never finds you. Refuse, and they'll gift wrap your location and hand it to him. That's not a choice. That's extortion. That's how they work. He stood, came around the desk. But here's what they don't know. I don't make deals with people who threaten what's mine. And I don't let ghosts from the past destroy the present. What are you going to do? His smile was sharp, dangerous. What I do best? Protect my people and eliminate threats. Something in his tone made my stomach drop. Dominic, you can't what? Make sure Tyler Brennan never hurts another woman. Make sure the Rossies understand that using your trauma against you was the biggest mistake they've ever made. He moved closer. Emma, I need you to understand something. I'm not a good man. I've done things that would horrify you. But I have rules. And one of them is that men who hurt women don't get second chances. I don't want you to kill him because of me. I'm not. His eyes held mine. I'm handling him because he's a threat. To you. To other women. To the order I'm trying to maintain. This isn't about revenge. It's about justice the system failed to deliver. I should have been horrified. Should have run from this man who spoke about eliminating threats like it was just another business transaction. But I wasn't. Because part of me, the part that still woke up gasping from nightmares, the part that flinched at raised voices, wanted Tyler to face consequences. Real ones. I don't know if that makes me a terrible person, I whispered. It makes you human. Dominic's voice gentled. You're allowed to want safety, Emma. You're allowed to want the people who hurt you to face justice, even if that justice doesn't come from a courtroom. My phone, the secure one he'd given me, buzzed. Unknown number. I looked at Dominic. He nodded. I answered. Put it on speaker. Emma Harper. A man's voice. Smooth and cultured. Or should I say Emma Reeves? That was your name before, wasn't it? Who is this? Someone who wants to help you. The man you're with, Dominic Castellano, is dangerous. He's using you, putting you in harm's way. We can protect you. Get you away from him, and make sure your past stays buried. And what do you want in return? A pause. Then, information, meetings, phone calls, business dealings, small things, harmless things. Nothing about Dominic is harmless, I said, and nothing you're asking for is small. Think about it. We'll be in touch. Oh, and Emma? Tyler says hello. He's very excited to see you again. The line went dead. I dropped the phone like it had burned me. Dominic was already moving, making calls, his voice sharp with command. Marco, I want a location trace. Get our tech people on it now. And pull up everything we have on Rossi's communication networks. He turned to me. Pack a bag. We're moving you. Where? Somewhere even I won't know until we get there. Compartmentalized information. If they're tracking your phone, monitoring this building, we need to assume everything's compromised. 20 minutes later, I was in a car with Marco and 2 other men I didn't recognize, driving through Chicago's industrial district as the sun climbed higher. Dominic had left separately, a decoy in case anyone was watching. My heart hammered against my ribs. We pulled into a warehouse. Inside, it was converted living space, sparse but functional. Safe house, I realized. Dominic probably had dozens scattered across the city. Marco handed me a new phone. Mr. Castellano will contact you on this. Don't use it for anything else. How long do I stay here? Until he says it's safe. After they left, I sat on the narrow bed and let myself break, not cry. I'd learned years ago that tears didn't help. Just break. Let the fear and anger and exhaustion wash through me until I was hollow. My new phone buzzed. Dominic, I'm going to Milwaukee tonight, taking care of the Tyler problem personally. Don't kill him because of me. I'm not killing anyone. I'm having a conversation, setting boundaries, making sure he understands that certain people are untouchable. A pause. Do you trust me? I thought about it. Really thought? This man who'd invaded my life, who protected me with violence and control, who saw my scars and didn't look away. Yes, I typed. I trust you. Then trust this. By tomorrow, Tyler Brennan will never hurt anyone again. And the Rossies will understand that you're not leverage. You're family. 3 hours later, Marco arrived with a laptop. Mr. Castellano wanted you to see this. He opened a video file, security footage from what looked like a parking garage. Tyler, getting into his car. Dominic appearing from the shadows, 2 men with him. I couldn't hear the audio, but I watched as Dominic spoke. Tyler went from confident to terrified in seconds. Then Dominic handed him something, papers, maybe, and walked away. Tyler sat in his car for a long moment. Then he started driving. The timestamp showed him heading north, away from Milwaukee, away from Chicago, running. My phone buzzed. Check your email. I opened my laptop, found a message from an unknown sender. Inside, a signed confession from Tyler Brennan, admitting to assault, describing in clinical detail what he'd done to me and 2 other women. Notarized, legal, and a restraining order, nationwide, already filed. Below it, a note. He's gone. Left the state. If he ever comes back, this goes to every news outlet and police department in the region. His career ends. His life ends. He knows it. You're free, Emma. I read it 3 times. 4. Let it sink in. The man who'd haunted my nightmares for 5 years was gone. Not dead. Dominic had kept his word about that. But neutralized. Powerless. Free. I called Dominic. He answered immediately. Did you see it? How did you get him to confess? I explained his options clearly. Sign the confession and leave the state. Or I'd make sure every woman he'd ever hurt got their day in court, with me funding their lawyers. His voice was matter of fact. Men like Tyler are cowards. They fold when confronted with real consequences. Thank you. My voice cracked. I don't know how to thank you. You don't have to. This is what protection means, Emma. Not just keeping you physically safe, but making sure the ghosts can't touch you anymore. That night, alone in the safe house, I slept without nightmares for the first time in 5 years. But when I woke at dawn, there was a new message on my phone. Not from Dominic, from the Rossies, a video file. I opened it with shaking hands. Sophia, playing in a park I didn't recognize. The footage was recent. She wore the same jacket I'd seen her in yesterday. And in the corner of the frame, barely visible, a red laser dot. The message below, you took our leverage. We're taking his. You have 24 hours to bring us what we want, or the girl disappears. No police, no tricks, just you. I stared at the video until the screen blurred. Sophia, innocent, trusting Sophia with her stuffed rabbit and her star pajamas. The red dot hovering near her small body like a promise of violence. I watched it loop 3 times before my hands stopped shaking enough to call Dominic. He answered before the first ring finished. Emma, where are you? They have footage of Sophia, a sniper scope. They want me in exchange or... My voice broke. Stay exactly where you are. I'm sending Marco. The controlled fury in his voice was terrifying. Do not respond to them. Do not engage. Do you understand? Dominic. She's 5 years old. I know what she is. His voice cracked. Just for a second. The armor fell and I heard the father underneath. I know. But if you go to them, they'll take you both. This is what they do, Emma. They make you choose between impossible options. We don't play that game. Then what do? We make them wish they'd never touched my world. He hung up. 10 minutes later, Marco arrived with 4 other men, all armed, all moving with military precision. The safe house transformed into a command center. Laptops appeared. Phones started ringing. I sat on the edge of the couch, useless, watching Dominic's organization mobilize like a machine built for war. Dominic arrived an hour later. His tie was gone, sleeves rolled up, and his eyes held something I'd never seen before. Not anger, but calculation. Cold, lethal planning. Show me the video again. I pulled it up. He watched once, paused, zoomed in on the background. That's Millennium Park, North End, near the Bean sculpture. Public space, lots of witnesses. He looked at Marco. When was this taken? Timestamp says yesterday, 4:15 p.m. Sophia was at her piano lesson until 5. She was never at that park. Dominic's jaw tightened. They're using old footage or stock images. They're bluffing. Relief flooded through me. So she's safe. She's protected. Different thing. He pulled up his phone, showed me live security feeds. Sophia in a room I didn't recognize, playing with blocks while 2 armed guards stood outside the door. I moved her this morning. Undisclosed location, rotating security, no patterns. They can't touch her. But they think they can, which means they'll escalate. I stood, paced. They'll try something else. Use someone else. This doesn't end until they have leverage. Or until they're eliminated. Dominic said it like he was discussing the weather. You can't kill an entire crime family. Watch me. The certainty in his voice should have frightened me. Instead, I felt something else. Something darker. Relief that someone with power was finally on my side. That the protection he offered came with teeth. What do you need from me? I asked. Honestly, I need you to stay alive and let me handle this. He moved closer. The Rossis want you because they think you're my weakness. They're wrong. You're my line in the sand. What does that mean? It means I've spent 10 years building power through strategy and patience, playing by certain rules, maintaining certain balances. But there are rules even I don't break. And one of them is you don't use children as weapons. You don't threaten innocence. His eyes held mine. They crossed that line. Now they deal with the version of me I've kept locked away. A phone buzzed. Marco answered, listened, his face going pale. Boss, we have a problem. Dominic took the phone, listened, his expression turned to stone. When? A pause. How many witnesses? Another pause. Contain it. I'm on my way. He hung up, and when he looked at me, I saw something that made my blood run cold. Or what happened? The Rossis just hit one of my warehouses, killed 2 of my men, left a message painted on the wall in their blood. His voice was flat, emotionless. It says, the girl or the empire, choose. The room went silent. Every man there understood what this meant. Not just a threat, but a declaration of war. The kind of violence that would spill into streets, that would leave bodies and burn territory and change the landscape of the city's underworld. You should choose the empire, I said quietly. I'm not worth... Don't. Dominic's voice cut like a blade. Don't you dare finish that sentence. You're worth protecting, Emma. You're worth fighting for. And if they think I'll sacrifice you to maintain power, they've fundamentally misunderstood who I am. People will die because of me. People will die because the Rossis decided to start a war they can't win. He turned to Marco. Pull everyone in. I want our territory locked down, our people armed, and every asset we have mobilized. No more defensive posture. We're going on offense. Boss, if we escalate, they escalated when they threatened a 5-year-old child. Now they face the consequences. Dominic's voice dropped to something cold and final. Get me everything we have on Rossi operations. Every warehouse, every front business, every dirty cop on their payroll. If they want war, we'll give them apocalypse. The men dispersed. Dominic stood at the window, hands in his pockets, looking out at the city like a general surveying a battlefield. I moved beside him. Is this who you really are? I asked. Underneath all the charity galas and legitimate business? Yes. No hesitation. This is what I've always been, Emma. I just got very good at hiding it. At playing the civilized businessman while running an empire built on violence and fear. He looked at me. Does that horrify you? I thought about it. Really thought. This man who'd protected me, who'd eliminated my nightmare, who was now preparing to go to war because someone had threatened people he cared about. No, I said honestly. It doesn't. Maybe it should, but it doesn't. Why not? Because I've seen what happens when powerful men face no consequences. I've lived in a world where the system protects abusers and punishes victims. You're just a different kind of justice. I met his eyes. A darker kind. But justice nonetheless. Something shifted in his expression. You understand me. I'm starting to... His phone rang. He answered, listened, and his whole body went rigid. Say that again. A long pause. Jesus. I'm coming now. He hung up, and I saw real fear cross his face for the first time. What is it? The Rossi just released a statement to 3 major news outlets. They claim I ordered the hit on a city councilman last year. They have evidence, fabricated but good, photos, financial records, testimony from a supposed witness. His voice was hoarse. The FBI will be at my door within hours. They're not just trying to take you. They're trying to destroy everything I've built. Can you prove it's false? Eventually. But the damage will be done. My businesses will be frozen, my accounts seized. I'll be arrested, probably held without bail given the flight risk. And while I'm locked up, he didn't finish. Didn't have to. While he was locked up, Sophia and I would be unprotected. Easy targets. There has to be something, I said desperately. Some way to fight back. There is. He looked at me, and I saw the calculation behind his eyes. You. Me. You're the only person who can testify about what really happened that night. Where I was, what I was doing. He paused. I was with you, Emma, at your apartment, all night. The night the councilman died. My mouth went dry. That's not true. No, but it could be. He moved closer. If you testify that we were together, that I was nowhere near the scene, it gives my lawyers leverage, creates reasonable doubt, buys me time to prove the evidence is fabricated. You want me to lie, under oath, to the FBI? I want you to save both our lives. His voice was raw, honest. Emma, if I go down, you and Sophia are dead within a week. The Rossies will make sure of it. This is the only play we have. I stared at him. This man who'd promised honesty, who'd made me promise never to lie to him. Now asking me to commit perjury, to tie myself to his crimes, to cross a line I'd never be able to uncross. If I do this, I said slowly, I'm not just protecting you. I'm becoming part of your world, complicit in everything you do. Yes. And if the truth comes out, I go to prison too. Yes. He didn't look away. I'm not going to lie to you about what I'm asking. This destroys any chance you have of going back to a normal life. You'll be marked, tied to me, part of this world whether you want to be or not. Why would I do that? Because despite everything, you trust me more than you trust the system that failed you. Because you know I'll protect you and Sophia with everything I have. And because he stopped, something vulnerable crossing his face. Because I think you're tired of running, tired of being small and invisible and afraid. I'm offering you something different, something dangerous, but real. He was right. I was tired of hiding, of looking over my shoulder, of building a life so small and careful that nothing could touch it. I'd survived Tyler by making myself invisible, but invisibility wasn't living. This choice, lying for Dominic, tying myself to his empire, it wasn't survival. It was something else, something that looked like power. If I do this, I said, things change between us. I'm not just someone you're protecting. I'm your partner, your equal, someone who gets a say in decisions. Agreed. And when this is over, when the Rossies are handled, you help me find my own power, not just borrowed from yours, my own. A slow smile crossed his face. Respect and something warmer. Deal. I held out my hand. He took it, pulled me closer. We stood there, inches apart, and I felt the weight of the choice settling over me. Point of no return. Line in the sand. Okay, I whispered. I'll do it. I'll testify that you were with me. Relief flooded his face. Then his phone buzzed. He checked it, and the relief vanished. They're here, FBI, downstairs. He looked at me. Remember, we've been seeing each other for 3 months, keeping it quiet because of your past, my reputation. That night, we were at your place, watching movies, ordering takeout. You fell asleep around 11. I stayed until morning. Dominic, the door burst open. 6 FBI agents, guns drawn, filling the room with shouted commands and chaos. Dominic Castellano, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder and racketeering. They pulled him away from me. He didn't resist, just kept his eyes on mine. Emma, tell them. An agent turned to me, female, sharp-eyed. Ma'am, we need to ask you some questions. Are you here willingly? Everyone was staring at me. The agents, Dominic's men, Marco, his hand near his weapon, Dominic himself, trusting me with everything. I thought about Tyler, about 5 years of running, about Sophia's terrified face in that video, about the choice between safety and power, between hiding and fighting. Then I looked at the agent and said the words that would change everything. I'm Emma Harper, and I'm here to make a statement. Dominic Castellano was with me the night of October 12th, all night. He never left. The FBI interrogation room smelled like stale coffee and desperation. I sat across from Agent Sarah Chen for 6 hours, telling the same lie over and over until it started to feel like truth. Yes, Dominic and I had been seeing each other. No, I wasn't being coerced. Yes, he was with me all night on October 12th. We ordered Thai food, watched old movies, fell asleep on my couch around 11. He left at dawn. She didn't believe me. I could see it in the way her eyes narrowed, the way she leaned back and studied me like I was a puzzle with missing pieces. Ms. Harper, do you understand the consequences of lying to a federal agent? I'm not lying. A man is dead. A city councilman who was investigating organized crime, and you're telling me that the prime suspect was in your bed? I'm telling you he was with me. What you choose to believe is your problem. She slid a photo across the table. Dominic at a restaurant, the timestamp showing 8 p.m. on October 12th. This was taken 4 hours before you claim he was at your apartment. That's a 30-minute drive, tight timeline. He came straight from dinner, still had his tie on. I met her eyes. I remember because I told him he looked too formal for Netflix. It was a good detail, specific, the kind of thing people remember. Agent Chen wrote it down, but her jaw was tight. You know what I think, she said. I think you're terrified. I think Dominic Castellano has something on you, some leverage, and you're lying to protect yourself, not him. She was closer to the truth than she knew, but not in the way she thought. I think you should charge me or let me go, I said, because I've told you everything I know, and unless you have evidence that contradicts my statement, we're done here. 2 hours later, they released me. No charges, but a warning that the investigation was ongoing. Marco was waiting outside with the car, his face grim. They're holding him without bail, calling him a flight risk. He opened the door for me. You did good in there. Bought us time. How much time? Enough. He pulled into traffic. His lawyers are already working on getting the charges dismissed. Between your testimony and the holes in their evidence, they've got maybe 48 hours before this falls apart. And the Rossies. Marco's hands tightened on the wheel. That's the real problem. They wanted Dominic locked up so they could move on you and Sophia without resistance. Now that you've given him an alibi, they'll have to adjust their strategy. Meaning they'll come for you directly. Try to force you to recant your testimony, or make you disappear so you can't testify at all. He glanced at me in the rearview mirror. Boss wants you moved again, somewhere even more secure. No. The word came out harder than I intended. No more running, no more hiding in safe houses while other people fight my battles. Emma, I'm done. Marco, done being the victim, done being the weakness everyone exploits. I leaned forward. I want to meet them. The Rossies face to face. He nearly drove off the road. Are you insane? They'll kill you. Not if I have something they want. My mind was racing, pieces clicking into place. They wanted me to testify against Dominic, to destroy him from the inside. What if I offer them exactly that? You just lied to the FBI for him. And I can recant, say I was coerced, that I was scared. Give them everything they need to put Dominic away for life. I met Marco's eyes in the mirror. Except I'll be wearing a wire, recording every word, getting them to admit they fabricated the evidence, that they threatened Sophia, all of it. Marco was quiet for a long moment. Boss will never approve this. Then don't tell him, not until it's done. I pulled out my phone. How do I contact them? Emma, this is suicide. This is the only way to end it. I thought about Sophia, about Dominic locked in a cell, about Tyler running scared and the Rossies thinking they'd won. They want me to be small and afraid. I'm done giving them what they want. Marco pulled over, turned to face me. You understand what you're proposing? If this goes wrong, if they find the wire or suspect anything, they'll torture you for information and kill you slowly. And I'll have to explain to boss why I let his... He stopped. His what? Why I let you do this. But I'd heard the hesitation, the word he hadn't said. Whatever I was to Dominic, it was more than just someone he was protecting. Help me do this right, I said. Give me the tools I need to survive it. Then, when it's over, you can tell him you tried to stop me. He studied me for a long moment. Then he pulled out his phone, made a call. I need a wire. Highest grade. An extraction protocol. Yeah, I know it's crazy. Just do it. 3 hours later, I was in a different warehouse with a tech specialist taping a device smaller than my thumbnail under my bra strap. Marco stood against the wall, arms crossed, looking like he was attending his own funeral. Signal's good for half a mile, the tech said. We'll have a team monitoring, ready to move in if things go south. But Emma, if they find this, there's nothing we can do until they're done with you. You sure about this? I thought about every choice that had led me here. Helping Sophia, accepting Dominic's protection, lying to the FBI. Each decision had pulled me deeper into this world until I couldn't tell anymore where survival ended and choice began. I'm sure. Marco drove me to a diner on the south side. Neutral ground. I walked in alone, spotted them immediately. 2 men in a corner booth, one older with silver hair, one younger with cold eyes. The Rossi brothers, Vincent and Carlo. I slid into the booth across from them, hands steady. I'm Emma Harper. I think we need to talk. Vincent smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. The brave little witness. We wondered when you'd come to your senses. I want this over. I want my life back. I want Dominic Castellano out of it. The lies came easier now. Tell me what I need to do. Recant your testimony. Tell the FBI he threatened you, coerced you. Give them enough to ensure he never sees daylight again. Carlo leaned forward. Simple. And in exchange, your life, your freedom. We'll even throw in Tyler Brennan's head on a platter if it makes you feel better. Vincent's smile widened. We know Dominic handled him for you. Sweet gesture, but unnecessary. We could have eliminated that particular problem much more permanently. Why do you care about Dominic so much? What did he do to earn this kind of attention? He exists. Vincent's voice went cold. He built an empire on our territory, took resources that should have been ours, established himself as untouchable. That's unacceptable. This city has room for one dominant organization, and it won't be his. So this is about power. This is always about power, sweetheart. Carlo pulled out a phone, showed me photos, Dominic's businesses, his properties. When he falls, all of this becomes ours. The North Side, the legitimate fronts, the political connections. We'll own Chicago, and you'll have helped us do it. What about Sophia? The brothers exchanged a glance. Vincent shrugged. The girl's not a concern once her father's in prison. We're not monsters. We don't hurt children. You threatened her. Sent me footage with a sniper scope. Theater, Carlo said dismissively. Psychological warfare. We needed you motivated, but we never would have actually touched her. Bad for business. Too much heat. The wire was recording everything. The admission. The fabricated evidence. Their plan to take over once Dominic was eliminated. I just needed a little more. What about the councilman? Did you kill him and frame Dominic? Vincent's smile disappeared. Careful, Emma. Curiosity killed the cat. I need to know what I'm walking into. If I recant my testimony, if I help you put Dominic away, I need to know the truth of what he's being accused of. A long silence. Then Vincent leaned back, confident. Yes, we killed Councilman Davis. He was getting too close, asking too many questions about our operations. We eliminated the problem and framed Castellano in one move. Efficient. And the evidence? Fabricated by very talented people. Photos can be doctored, financial records created, witnesses bought. The FBI will never prove it's fake before the trial. He studied me. Does that change anything for you? No. I forced myself to meet his eyes. It just confirms that you're thorough. We are. Vincent pulled out a tablet, began typing. Here's what happens next. You'll receive a visit from our lawyer. He'll prep you on what to say, how to say it. You'll recant tomorrow, file a formal statement. Within a week, Dominic Castellano will be convicted, and you'll disappear into a very comfortable new life somewhere far from Chicago. And if I refuse? Carlo's hand moved to his jacket. Let's not explore that option. I stood. I need time to think. You have until midnight tonight. Vincent's voice was steel wrapped in silk. After that, we assume you've chosen loyalty over survival. And we respond accordingly. I walked out of that diner on shaking legs, got into Marco's car, and only then let myself breathe. He pulled away fast, checking mirrors constantly. "Did you get it?" I asked. Every word. He was already on the phone. "Boss is going to lose his mind when he hears this." "Then let's make sure he hears it from me." They brought Dominic to a secure location 2 hours later, some legal maneuver his lawyers had pulled involving new evidence and procedural violations. He walked into the room where I waited, still in his suit from the arrest, eyes burning with questions. "Emma, what the hell did you do?" I pressed play on the recording, watched his face as he listened to the Rossi brothers confessing to murder, to fabricating evidence, to their plan to take over his empire. When it finished, the silence was deafening. "You met with them," he said quietly. "Alone, wearing a wire." "Yes, you could have been killed." But I wasn't. I stood, moved closer. "You were in jail because of me, because I gave you an alibi you didn't ask for, tied myself to your case. I needed to fix it. By offering yourself up as bait." His voice rose. "Emma, they would have tortured you if they'd found that wire. They would have..." He stopped, ran his hands through his hair. "Jesus Christ, you could have died. So could you. So could Sophia." I held up the recording. "But now we have everything we need. Proof they fabricated the evidence, confession to murder, admission of their plan. This ends it, Dominic. All of it." He stared at me like he was seeing me for the first time. "You weren't supposed to become this." "What?" "Someone willing to risk everything. Someone who fights back instead of running." He moved closer, and I saw fear in his eyes. Real fear. "You were supposed to stay safe, stay protected. Not turn into someone who walks into enemy territory wearing a wire and playing Russian roulette with her life." Maybe I was tired of being protected. I met his eyes. Maybe I needed to prove to myself that I'm not the broken thing Tyler left behind. That I can be strong and make my own choices, even dangerous ones. "And what if I can't survive watching you make dangerous choices?" His voice cracked. "What if protecting you means protecting you from yourself? Then you'll have to learn to let go." I moved closer, close enough to feel his breath. "Because I'm not going back to being small and afraid. Not for anyone, not even for you." Something shifted in his expression. Respect mixed with frustration mixed with something deeper. "You're the most terrifying woman I've ever met." "Good." I smiled. "Now let's use this recording to bury the Rossis and get your daughter back." His lawyers presented the evidence to the FBI that night. By morning, the charges against Dominic were dropped, and federal agents were raiding Rossi properties across the city. Vincent and Carlo were arrested before noon, along with 15 of their top lieutenants. The empire they'd built collapsed in less than 24 hours. I watched it on the news from Dominic's penthouse. Sophia curled up beside me on the couch, finally back home and safe. She'd fallen asleep with her head on my lap, exhausted from the stress of being moved and hidden for days. Dominic stood at the window, phone pressed to his ear, coordinating with his people as they moved to fill the power vacuum. I watched him work. This dangerous man who'd turned my life upside down, and realized something that should have terrified me but didn't. I didn't want to leave. Didn't want to go back to my small apartment and my quiet life and my careful invisibility. I wanted to stay in this world of power and danger. Wanted to stand beside this man who saw me as an equal. Wanted to be someone who mattered. When he hung up, I carefully moved Sophia's head to a pillow and joined him at the window. "It's done," he said quietly. "The Rossis are finished. Their territory, their operations, everything. It's over. So what happens now?" He turned to face me. "Now you get your life back. Your apartment's still there, your job's still waiting. I can arrange protection, make sure you're safe, but you're free to go whenever you want. And if I don't want to go," his eyes searched mine, "Emma, I lied to the FBI for you, walked into enemy territory to save you, chose this world consciously, knowing exactly what it meant." I moved closer. "You said once that proximity to you marks people, changes them. I'm already marked, Dominic, already changed. So the question isn't whether I can go back. It's whether I want to. You deserve better than this life." "Maybe." I reached up, touched his face. "But I don't want better. I want real. I want to be someone who fights instead of hides. Someone who makes choices that matter, even dangerous ones. And I stopped, suddenly uncertain. What do you want, Emma? You, I whispered. I want you. This world, this danger, all of it. He kissed me then, fierce and desperate, like I was oxygen and he'd been drowning. I kissed him back with everything I had, all the fear and anger and need I'd been holding in for weeks. When we finally pulled apart, his forehead rested against mine. If you stay, there's no going back, no normal life, no safety, just this, just us. I know. People will try to hurt me, use you, target you. Let them try. He smiled then, real and warm. You've become dangerous, Emma Harper. I had a good teacher. I looked at Sophia, sleeping peacefully for the first time in days. She needs a mother figure, someone who understands protection and fear, and how to be strong anyway. She needs you, he said softly. We both do. Outside, the city stretched out before us, glittering and vast and full of possibility. Somewhere in it, my old life waited, small and safe and invisible. But I was done being invisible, done running from my own power. I'd walked into danger to save this man. Now I was choosing to stay in it, to build a life here in this world of shadows and violence and fierce protection, to be someone who mattered, who fought, who chose power over safety. It should have terrified me. Maybe once it would have. But I wasn't that broken woman anymore. I was someone new. Someone Tyler couldn't touch. Someone the Rossies couldn't intimidate. Someone who'd looked at danger and walked toward it instead of away. I was Emma Harper. And I was finally, terrifyingly, completely free. 3 months later, I stood in Dominic's study signing papers that made me a legal guardian to Sophia. My hand shook slightly as I wrote my name. Emma Harper. The identity I'd built from ashes now being used to claim something precious. Something real. Dominic stood beside me, his hand resting on the small of my back, steady and warm. Last chance to run, he said quietly, but there was a smile in his voice. I stopped running the day I met you. I set down the pen. Besides, someone has to make sure you don't teach her that problems can be solved with intimidation and strategic violence. I would never... He stopped at my raised eyebrow. Okay, I might occasionally suggest that approach, but you'll balance me out. The lawyer gathered the papers, congratulated us, and left. Through the window, I could see Sophia in the garden with her nanny, chasing butterflies in the October sun. She'd started calling me Emma Mom last week, her own invention, her way of claiming me without erasing the mother who'd left. It broke my heart and healed it simultaneously. The Rossi trial starts next week, Dominic said, pulling me from my thoughts. The prosecution wants you to testify. About the wire, the confession, everything. I know. I'd been preparing for weeks, working with the district attorney to ensure my testimony was airtight. Are you worried? About you on the stand? No. You're the most formidable person I know. He turned me to face him. I'm worried about what comes after. When Vincent and Carlo are convicted, their remaining associates will want revenge. You'll be a target. I've been a target since the day I helped your daughter cross the street. I touched his face, feeling the slight stubble there. The difference now is, I'm not afraid of it. That was mostly true. I still woke some nights with my heart racing, still flinched at unexpected sounds. But the fear didn't control me anymore. It was just information, data to process, not a prison to hide in. My phone buzzed. A text from Carlos at Rosie's Cafe. Saw you on the news again. FBI's star witness. You've come a long way from spilling coffee. Harper, proud of you. I smiled. I'd gone back to visit the cafe last week, found it mostly unchanged. Carlos had hugged me tight and whispered, "You look different, stronger." I tipped him $500 and told him to split it with the staff. Some bridges to your old life were worth maintaining. What are you thinking? Dominic asked. That I used to measure my life in how invisible I could be? How small? How safe? I looked up at him. Now I measure it in how much I matter, how much I can protect, how much power I have to change things. Emma the Conqueror. His smile was soft. Sophia's been calling you that? Did you know? She what? In her drawings, She draws you as a warrior princess with a sword. He pulled out his phone, showed me a crayon sketch of a stick figure with long hair holding what might have been a weapon, or possibly a very aggressive flower. She said you fight monsters. My throat tightened. I'm not a warrior. You walked into enemy territory wearing a wire. You lied to the FBI to protect me. You chose to stay in a world that terrifies most people. His eyes held mine. And if that's not a warrior, I don't know what is. The next week, I testified. The courtroom was packed. Journalists, law enforcement, curious onlookers who'd followed the sensational case of the Mafia war that had rocked Chicago. I sat in the witness box in a navy suit Dominic had insisted on buying me, hands folded, voice steady. The prosecutor led me through my testimony, meeting Dominic, the Rossi threats, the wire, the confession. I spoke clearly, factually, never embellishing. The jury watched me with rapt attention. Then came the defense attorney, sharp-suited, sharper-eyed. She smiled at me like we were friends. Ms. Harper, isn't it true that you're romantically involved with Mr. Castellano? Yes. And you live in his home? Yes. You're the legal guardian of his daughter? Yes. I met her eyes. None of which changes what I heard Vincent and Carlo Rossi confess on that recording. But it does speak to your credibility, doesn't it? You have every reason to lie, to protect the man you love, to secure your comfortable new life. Objection. The prosecutor stood, argumentative, sustained. But the defense attorney had made her point. She sat down, confident. The jury looked uncertain now, conflicted. During the break, I found Dominic in the hallway. She's going to paint me as a gold digger who fabricated evidence. Let her try. He squeezed my hand. The recording speaks for itself. Audio forensics proved it wasn't tampered with. The Rossi's own words will convict them. He was right. 3 days later, the jury returned a verdict. Guilty on all counts. Vincent and Carlo Rossi were sentenced to life without parole. Their organization was dismantled, their assets seized, their power destroyed. I stood outside the courthouse afterward, surrounded by reporters shouting questions. Dominic appeared beside me, took my hand, and we walked through the chaos together, partners, equals, survivors. That night, we celebrated quietly, just the three of us, Dominic, Sophia, and me. We ordered pizza, watched a Disney movie, and built a blanket fort in the living room. Sophia fell asleep between us, her small hand clutching mine. This is what I fought for, Dominic said quietly. Not territory or power or revenge. This peace. Family. Do you think we'll ever really have peace? In this world? He was quiet for a long moment. I think we'll have moments of it. Between the storms? And those moments will be worth everything. Later, after we'd carried Sophia to bed, Dominic led me to the roof. The city spread out below us, millions of lights against the darkness. He pulled out a small box. I'm not asking you to marry me, he said. Not yet. You deserve to choose that when you're ready, without pressure or obligation. Then what's this? He opened the box. Inside, a key. Simple, silver, elegant. This is a key to a property I own, downtown penthouse, completely separate from this one. It's in your name, paid off, untouchable. He met my eyes. If you ever want to leave, if this life becomes too much, if I become too much, you have somewhere to go. You're never trapped, Emma, never owned. You stay because you choose to, not because you have no other option. I stared at the key, then at him. This man who'd invaded my life, who'd protected me with violence and controlled me with good intentions, was giving me the freedom to leave. Why? I whispered. Because I watched what happened when someone tried to own you. Tyler destroyed you by taking away your choices. His voice was rough with emotion. I won't do that, ever. You're with me because you want to be, or not at all. I took the key, held it in my palm, felt the weight of what it represented, autonomy, choice, power. Then I closed his hand over mine, the key between our joined fingers. I don't need it, I said, but thank you for giving it to me anyway. We stood there, holding each other, while the city breathed below us. And I realized something profound. Freedom wasn't about having no ties. It was about choosing which ties to keep. I chose this man, this child, this dangerous life. Not because I had no other option, but because this was where I wanted to be. 2 years later, everything had changed and nothing had. I testified in 3 more trials, helped put away 5 more criminals who'd threatened people I loved. I started a foundation for domestic violence survivors, using Dominic's money and my experience to create the support system I'd never had. I enrolled in online law classes because knowledge was power and I wanted every tool available. Sophia turned 7. She still drew me as a warrior princess, but now I was riding a dragon she'd named Emma the Brave. She'd stopped having nightmares about being taken away, started inviting friends over for sleepovers and birthday parties, became just a regular kid in an irregular family. Dominic expanded his legitimate businesses, slowly transitioning away from the darker elements of his empire. He'd never be completely clean. That wasn't possible with his history, but he was trying. For Sophia. For me. For the future we were building. And me. I woke up most mornings without fear. I walked city streets without constantly looking over my shoulder. I laughed easily, loved fiercely, and no longer measured my worth by how invisible I could be. I'd learned something crucial in these 2 years. Strength wasn't about never being afraid. It was about being afraid and choosing courage anyway. It was about being broken and putting yourself back together. Not the same as before, but different, better, stronger where you'd been weakest. Tyler had tried to destroy me with violence and control. The Rossies had tried to use me as a weapon. Both had failed because they'd underestimated the fundamental truth of survival. You can break someone, but sometimes they reform into something harder, something that won't break the same way twice. One evening, I found Dominic in his study, staring at papers with a furrowed brow. I moved behind him, wrapped my arms around his shoulders. "What's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong, that's the problem." He pulled me around to sit on his lap. "Everything's stable, business is good, Sophia's thriving, you're happy. I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop." "Maybe there is no other shoe." I kissed his forehead. "Maybe we get to just be happy. People like me don't just get to be happy. People like you deserve happiness as much as anyone else." I cupped his face. "You've spent your whole life protecting others, fighting wars, building empires. Maybe it's time to just live, Dominic, to let yourself have peace." He pulled me closer, buried his face in my neck. "I don't know how to do that. Then we'll learn together." That night, he proposed. Not with fanfare or grand gestures, just the 2 of us in bed, tangled together in the dark. "Marry me," he whispered against my hair. "Not because you need protection or stability or any practical reason. Marry me because you love me and I love you, and I want to spend every day of whatever time we have being grateful I got to know you." "Yes." I didn't hesitate. "Yes, I'll marry you." We were married 6 months later in a small ceremony. Sophia was Flower Girl, wearing a dress she'd designed herself, covered in dragons and swords. Marco walked me down the aisle because he'd been the one standing guard all those nights I couldn't sleep, the one who'd driven me to testify, the one who'd believed I could be strong when I didn't believe it myself. "Boss is lucky," he whispered before handing me off. "You made him human again." "He made me brave," I whispered back. The ceremony was simple. No elaborate speeches, no dramatic vows, just 2 people who'd survived darkness choosing to build light together. When Dominic kissed me, I tasted salt and realized he was crying. This dangerous man, this protector of others, letting himself be vulnerable. The reception was held at a venue overlooking the lake. I danced with Sophia, with Marco, with Dominic's legitimate business partners who had no idea about the empire underneath. I laughed until my sides hurt and drank champagne and felt, for the first time in my entire life, completely free. Near midnight, I found myself alone on the balcony, looking out at the water. Dominic appeared beside me, jacket off, tie loosened, looking more relaxed than I'd ever seen him. "What are you thinking about?" he asked. That morning, when I saw Sophia crying on the street corner. I turned to him. If I'd walked past her like everyone else, where would I be right now? Probably still serving coffee at Rosie's, still hiding, still small. Would I be safer? Maybe, but you wouldn't be living. He pulled me close. Sometimes the most dangerous choice is the one that saves you. I thought about that. About every choice I'd made since that September morning. Helping a lost child, accepting protection from a stranger, lying to the FBI, walking into enemy territory wearing a wire, choosing love over safety, power over invisibility, courage over fear. Each choice had been dangerous. Each one could have destroyed me. But instead, they'd built something new. Someone new. A version of myself I'd never imagined possible. Do you ever regret it? Dominic asked quietly. This life? The danger? The complexity? The constant threat? I considered the question honestly. Thought about the nightmares I still sometimes had, the hypervigilance that never quite faded, the way I still flinched at sudden movements. Thought about the trials, the testimony, the targets on our backs that would probably never fully disappear. Then I thought about Sophia's laugh, about the foundation we'd built that had helped over 200 women escape abusive situations, about the feeling of waking up next to someone who saw all my scars and loved me not despite them, but including them, about being someone who mattered, who fought, who chose power over victimhood. No, I said simply, I don't regret any of it, even the hard parts. Especially the hard parts. They made me who I am. I touched his face. They brought me to you. He kissed me then, soft and deep, tasting like champagne and promises. Behind us, through the windows, I could see our guests dancing, celebrating, living. Sophia was showing another child her warrior princess drawings. Marco was laughing at something someone said. Life, loud and messy and beautiful. We stood there for a long time, wrapped in each other, while the city lights reflected off the water below. And I thought about the woman I'd been, Emma Reeves, broken and afraid, measuring her life and how well she could disappear. She was gone now, dead and buried with the past that had tried to define her. In her place stood Emma Castellano, wife, mother, survivor, fighter, someone who'd looked at danger and walked toward it, someone who'd chosen love in a world built on violence, someone who understood that the most courageous thing you can do is let yourself be seen, scars and all, and trust someone else to handle them gently. The night air was cool, carrying the scent of lake water and distant rain. Dominic held me closer, and I felt his heartbeat against mine, steady and sure. What happens now? I asked. Now we live, he said simply. We protect Sophia, we build our future, we handle whatever comes next, together. Together, I agreed. And standing there, wrapped in the arms of the man who'd seen me at my most broken and helped me forge myself into something stronger, I finally understood what freedom meant. It wasn't about having no constraints. It wasn't about being invulnerable or fearless or perfect. Freedom was choosing your battles, choosing your bonds, choosing to stand and fight instead of run and hide. Freedom was looking at the life I'd built from ashes and ruins and saying, this is mine. I chose this, and I'd choose it again. They say facing danger is how you get lost. I learned the opposite. It was only when I stopped looking away that I finally found myself, found my strength, found my voice, found the courage to claim a life worth living instead of merely surviving. The woman I'd been would never have believed this was possible, but she'd underestimated herself. We all do, sometimes. We think we're smaller than we are, weaker than we can be, less capable of transformation than life requires, but we're not. We're warriors in our own stories. We're survivors who become fighters. We're broken things that reform into shapes more beautiful and terrible than we ever imagined. And sometimes, if we're very lucky and very brave, we find someone who sees that in us, who stands beside us while we figure out exactly how strong we can be. I found that in Dominic. And in finding him, I found myself. The music drifted out from the reception, a slow song starting. Dominic held out his hand. Dance with me. I took it, let him pull me close, and we swayed together under the stars while the city breathed below us. My husband, my partner, my choice. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't afraid of what tomorrow would bring. Because whatever it was, I'd face it standing tall, fighting hard, and loving fiercely. I was Emma Castellano, and I was finally, beautifully, completely free. If you made it to the end of this story, let us know in the comments which city you're watching from, and click the yellow bell to subscribe to the channel and support us. Keep the adventure going by clicking on the suggested video on your screen.